Beautiful yogis, this morning sequence helps you slow down and counteract rushing, and it's what my own morning practice looks like much of the time. To begin, come to a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you, either sitting cross legs or with a block between the heels. Having 2 blocks nearby will be great for your practice today, although you can always also make do without them. Wherever you are, find a nice tall spine. Allow the shoulders to stack over the hips, the ears over the shoulders. Dip the chin and lengthen the back of the neck. Invite your shoulder blades to move towards one another on the midline of your back, creating a little shelf for your heart. Inhale, fill the chest with breath. Exhale, draw the navel in. See if you can slow down your exhalation. 2 or 3 more rounds of breath like this. Each inhale, inflating the chest. Think of the body widening left to right, front to back, side to side. Each exhalation slowing everything down. Maybe even pulling the pelvic floor up to get all the air out of the body. On your next breath in, circle the arms down, around, and up. So reach the arms to the left and right of the room and sync your in-breath so the palms touch above your head as you take in the maximum amount of breath. Exhale, draw the hands through prayer at center line, thumbs to heart center. 2 more times. It's like you're gathering energy. Inhale, reach the arms, spread through the fingers. It's like the air is thick and heavy. Slow down your movement. Exhale, slow the descent of the palms to the length of that long exhalation you've been cultivating. Last one, make it your slowest one yet. Slowing down your breath, linking breath and movement. And when the hands land at heart center, just set an intention for yourself here. Could be to just connect with yourself more fully, embody gratitude, cultivate space or stillness, whatever it is. Just take a moment here. And in setting this intention, you affirm that this practice is just for you. Take the hands to the mat. Come around to all fours. We'll ripple through chakra vakasana, cat-cow. Spread the fingers wide, shoulders directly under, shoulders directly over wrists, hips over knees. I like to curl my toes under behind me and then micro bend my elbows so I can inhale, really broaden the collarbones, invite in a lot of breath while still keeping length in the back of the neck. So this is the inhale position. Exhale. Draw your navel up towards the ceiling. Make a Halloween cat shape. Look at your belly button. And for today's focus, allow your tailbone to almost release towards the heels. So slow, controlled movement. And we'll just keep everything really slow like this. So as you breathe in, micro bend the elbows, maybe curl the toes under if you like that. Send the collarbones away from one another, left and right. Each time you breathe out, chin deeply tucks into the chest more than you think you need to. Lean your body weight back. So it's almost like you're going to come into a child's pose. The booty never touches the heels, but you're yearning in that direction to get a nice low back stretch, and flow through this a few more times on your own. Speeding it up a little bit or slowing it down even more to match the cadence of your breath. Find stillness, find center after your next one. Hug the navel up and in so you really are in a flat back here, and then reach the right arm to the ceiling. Thread it underneath the left shoulder and come into a little gentle twist. Take the left hand to the outside of the left edge of your mat. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Press down into the left palm to revolve you into this twist. 3 deep breaths. See if you can hug your navel in and think of your tailbone lengthening towards your heels in that action we just found in the cat back. It's subtle. After your next exhalation, come back to center, other side. Send the left arm up. Gentle twist as you thread the left arm underneath the right shoulder. Right palm moves to the outside edge of the mat on your right. Press down through the right palm. And then it's like you're fighting with yourself. So you press down through the right palm, but squeeze the inner thighs together. I find this helps me really access a juicy twist in my mid-back. Think of that tailbone lengthening towards the heels and finding a little cat back. So that sensation of hugging the navel in, the abs in, as if you wanted to round the low back even though you're in this position. Maybe gives the low spine a little bit more release. Last breath. Beautiful. Come back to center, all fours. Inhale into your cow pose. Option to micro bend the elbows, curl the toes under. This time press back into downward facing dog. Slowly begin to pedal through the legs. So just imagine you're moving through molasses, honey, water. There's no rush in any part of your movement. We're setting an example for our mind. So there doesn't need to be any rushing in the mind, and we model that by not rushing at all in the body. Press into the right knuckles specifically, and you're in your left heel towards the floor, bending your right knee deeply. Send your breath into the back body, widen the breath in the body, and then switch. So press extra firmly into the left knuckles. You're in the right heel towards the ground and bend the left knee deeply. Play with straightening both legs, or you can keep finding some soothing movements. Walk your feet up towards your hands. And this is where, if you have the blocks, place them directly in front of your feet. Feet are hip width apart and parallel. I like my blocks on the medium height. And inhale, find a little flat back. Take a look at my hands and see how I'm flexing through the palm. So my fingertips are on the block, but I'm lifting the heels of my hands up and away. So I'm getting a huge stretch in the fascia in the palm. If you don't have blocks, you can just hang or press the hands into the front of the shins. But if you have blocks, this is really juicy. Let the head and neck go. Let the upper body be heavy. Wherever you are, bend the knees generously. Allow the low back to traction. And if you're experiencing the palm stretch, after finding that flat back, you can just hang like I am. So no matter what props you have available, just hanging, chin into chest, knees bent, tractioning the low back. Head heavy like a bowling ball. And then we'll round up one vertebra at a time. So bend the knees generously. Lengthen the tailbone towards the heels. Think of your spine like a string of beads. Your head is going to be the very last thing to come up. So again, take your time. We're practicing not rushing here. Emerge in Tadasana. Roll the shoulders up, down, and back. Up, down, and back. Up, down, and back. Take your right hand to your thigh and reach the left arm up and over for a big side body stretch. Micro bend the knees. Lengthen that lever of your tailbone down towards your heels. See if you can soften the top left shoulder. Really press your right hand into your right thigh for support and invite the heart to yearn gently towards the ceiling. 2 more big breaths here, opening the intercostal muscles, sides of the body. Challenge yourself to breathe as big and wide as you possibly can, and then taking that up and over to the other side. So left hand presses into the outer. Left thigh, right arm sweeps towards the ceiling and up. Micro bend in the knees, lengthening the tailbone towards the floor. Really reach with that top right arm, but attempt to relax the top right shoulder so there's no tension there. Big side body stretch. Huge, full, complete exhale. On your next inhalation, reach both arms up and same movement we did previously. With the length of your exhalation, your hands come through prayer to heart center. Take the hands to the hips. Step the left foot back. So the right foot is in front. Have the feet as wide as your hips, if not even wider. So if you look down, your feet are on railroad tracks. Lift all the toes, set them down. If you had the blocks, bring them with you. So you have blocks at the highest height. If you don't have blocks, no problem. Just keep the hands on the hips and begin to tilt forward from the pelvis, finding a nice long spine. If you need to bend the front right knee, that's totally fine. You'll still find a really lovely hamstring stretch, even with the knee bent. Awesome if you can bring the hands down to those blocks. If you can't, just keep the hands either on the hips or you can actually physically take them to your own right shin and hold there for support. Breathe in. Feel the spine telescoping out of your pelvis, getting longer before you use your core to draw you in a little gentle fold over the right leg. Continue to slow your breathing down here. You can let the head go and the neck go once you found that nice long spine. Pull up through the arches of both feet. The longer you make your exhalations, the more you're soothing your nervous system, which is really one of our primary goals in this practice. Shift out of that habitual fight or flight response, the stress mode that tends to dominate our day-to-day life and activities. Find a little more ease, a little more space. 2 more big breaths here. Option 1, just stay here. So this is a really juicy stretch and you can always make it more intense by flexing the toes back to the face. So that's something you could play and experiment with. If you've been practicing yoga for some time and have a practice of standing split, you can walk the blocks forward or just take the hands to the floor and just lift that left leg as high as you can, letting the crown of the head point towards the floor. This doesn't have to be the most intense expression. We're just feeling a stretch along the back of the right leg. So we stretch the hamstring. Now we're continuing to stretch and strengthen it as you attempt to balance here. Lift the left heel up. If this is too much or not serving you today, just stay in the first variation, pyramid pose with the left foot on the ground. We're just here 2 more breaths. If you're in the standing split, really let your head be heavy like a bowling ball and hang. And then all of us will meet by tapping the left foot down and snuggling that left knee behind your right knee. So we kind of sneakily come into this seated supine twist position where we take our hips back. So your right ankle should be in front of your left knee. Inhale, reach both arms up. And exhale, twist to the right. Hug your right knee and your left forearm in the crook of your arm and reach your right hand behind you. Press into the right big toe. Draw your shoulder blades together on your back once again and slow your breathing down. Each exhale, think of pulling your navel in, almost like you could sneak it around that right thigh. Every inhale, get a little taller. Every exhale, root down through both your sitting bones, sits bones in firm contact with the earth. And gently let the twist go. 2 options here, actually 3 options. So if you can and it's comfortable for you to stack the right knee on top of the left knee in Gomukhasana legs, you're going to come here. If this is just totally not possible for you or it's making you lean way back, just come into cross legs instead with the right leg in front. And we're going to fold forward. The other option you could take, if this isn't feeling good in your body, is just to lie down and then hold the heels. The secret here is that you need to take the heels high up, way higher than you think, as you pull with your hands in order to feel the outer hip stretch we're going for. So you're on your back, knees stacked, or if you're in simple cross legs, this is also a great hip stretch to just fold forward. So this is a wonderful place to be. Pick where you're going. We have 6 breaths here to really breathe into the outer hip. If you're on your back, you're pulling the ankles towards your face, but also lifting the ankles up towards the sky for the deepest stretch. If you're in cross legs or knees stacked seated, press your palms into the mat and send your sits bones back in space. Relax your shoulders, your face, your jaw. As you tip the upper body forward, draw the chin down, lengthen the back of the neck. Cultivate the long, slow, deep breaths we've been practicing. Can come back to that visualization of that ball of light beneath the navel, anchoring you, widening your low back, grounding you down. Slowly walk the hands back to your knees. Head is last thing to come up. If you're lying down, just roll to one side. We're all going to meet in cat-cow. So just coming to all fours, rippling through. And on your next exhale, downward facing dog. Pedal through the legs. Second time here, so things may feel a little different. Notice the difference, if any, between the left and right side of the body. And then slowly walk the feet towards the hands. Half lift once again. If you have the blocks, you can do my little finger trick of lifting the wrists up and just having the fingers on the blocks. Knees bent. And then roll up one vertebra at a time. Head is last thing to come up. Second side, hands to hips. Step the right foot back in space. Nice wide stance. Lift the heart. Get tall, and then exhale, tip forward for pyramid pose on the left. So folding over the left leg this time, finding your blocks, inviting the spine to telescope and get longer out of the pelvic bowl. So each inhale, you think length. Each exhale, you scissor the thighs together, draw your navel in to power the fold over the left leg. hands to blocks or the left shin. After a few breaths, finding length, just really allow yourself to fold and drape the upper body over the leg. Legs stay active here, so arches of the feet should feel like they're suctioning up the mat. The left hip moves back, right hip moves forward, inner thighs scissor. But allow the torso, head and neck just to drape and relax. 2 more breaths. Choosing now to stay here, you can always play with flexing the toes back towards the face. Or if you did it on the other side, coming into standing split, walking the blocks or the hands forward, lifting the right leg up to the sky, and really letting the crown of the head point down towards the floor. Nice stretch for the back of the left leg. I love this move because I try to detach from how high my right leg is and what the split looks like. Instead, I just enjoy the position because my heart is higher than my head. So I've kind of turned everything upside down. So this pose kind of symbolizing, even in the pyramid pose variation, right? The heart is above the head. So we're turning off the intellectual thinking mind just a touch. Lift the right heel a little higher if you can. Last breath. And then tapping the right foot down. And if you're in pyramid pose, transitioning to snuggle the right knee behind the left ankle, however you need, transitioning down for our Ardha Matsyendrasana, seated supine twist. Make a couple adjustments if you need to. Breathe in, arms up. And exhale, left hand back, right arm hugs the left knee in. Relax the shoulders, glide them down and back. Each inhale, you get a little taller. Each exhale, twist a little deeper. Notice if you can drop into an internal stillness that you've created over the course of this practice. Continue to lengthen the breath. Slowly coming back to center. Same options. So if you're doing cross legs, this time just the left shin is in front and you fold forward. Left knee stacks over right, or taking this onto your back. Just melt right in. And press the palms into the floor and send that energy back down through your hips. Slow your breathing down. Any sensation in the hips, just infiltrate it with your breath. Send your breath to that area as if you could expand it with love and light and heat on the inhale, and then just surrendering any tension on the exhale. If you like, you can lean or tilt a little left and right. Take the torso a tiny bit side to side. Or if you're on your back, rock the legs a tiny bit side to side, barely, should barely see you moving. Beautiful. Your choice to close your practice in a cross-legged meditative seat or to lie down and take shavasana. Your choice now. So if you're in a cross-legged seat, I'm going to suggest palms face up in the lap, left palm on top of the right. Close the eyes. Drop immediately into the stillness that you've created. Notice if there's a more vast, expansive quality of your energy available to you. You can sit here in stillness, or you can come back to the exercise we opened with, tracing the awareness of your breath up and down the spine, that light rising and descending. Continuing with that technique. If you're lying down on your back and taking shavasana, just release any conscious effort to control the breath. Allow the floor to support you and let everything go. Consider this soaking in absorption of the physical work you did, the most important part of your practice today. These moments of rest here. It's like all the work we did physically gets to seep in to our energy body, to our energetic field, and really nourish us if we cultivate the space for it. Gift yourself these next few moments. Stay here as long as you possibly can. If you can set a little timer on your phone for another 7 or 11 or even 3 minutes, take this continued time to ground in for yourself. If you only have 30 minutes to practice, gently bring the palms to the heart, rub the palms together. And then just take the thumbs to the heart center. Come back to your intention. Make a commitment to yourself here and now to release rushing, to connect with your physical body, and slow down. trusting, knowing that you'll see the ripple effects of this practice throughout the rest of your day, the positive effects. I'm sending you so much love. From my heart to yours, namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me and being here all the way to the very end. When you're ready to stop practicing at random, to move out of the shallows and deepen your knowledge through thematic class series, training plans, guidebooks, and Yoga Alliance approved continuing education courses, join me inside the Uplifted membership. With me and our global community, uncover the ancient wisdom of yoga in ways that are personal, practical, and powerful. And if you want to keep watching here on YouTube, this is the class I suggest clicking on next. So much love from my heart to yours. Namaste.